and relax. You're listening to episode 187 of the WealthTech Today podcast. I'm your host, Craig Iskowitz, founder of Ezra Group Consulting. And this podcast features news, interviews, and analysis on the trends and best practices all around wealth management technology. My guest for this episode is Jim Crowley, CEO of Pershing. Now, Jim has been at Pershing for, believe it or not, over 40 years. He started in relationship management, moved up into the Chief Relationship Officer role, which he held for quite a while, finally reaching into the COO position in 2017, and then where he is now as the CEO of Pershing in 2019. The topic of this interview is something that we at Ezra Group spent a lot of time working on, which is digitization, going paperless, making an end-to-end process without any paper for a wealth management firm. Now, 6 or 7 years ago, it was new and exciting, but now it's table stakes. We would think more wealth management firms would require it to even be running, but apparently there's still a lot of firms that haven't taken the plunge or haven't gone all the way paperless, which is why Pershing launched an initiative this year called Paper Free in 2023. I spoke with Jim about this, as well as other initiatives that Pershing is working on, including process automation, application integrations, and digital experiences. We also got an update during this interview on the Pershing X platform. Now, I don't want to spoil a surprise, but Jim did share the timing of an announcement that's coming very soon about Pershing X. You're just going to have to listen to the rest of the episode to find out. But before we get started, if you are an executive of a wealth tech firm that's selling software to RIAs, broker-dealers, asset managers, TAMPs, or other firms, then you should run, not walk, to our website, EzraGroupLLC.com, and fill out the Get in Touch form on the homepage. Our industry experts can deliver a wide range of advice, including competitive analysis, new product evaluations, market insights and strategic advice, client buying decisions, integration development services, and more. Every vendor needs these things to be successful, especially when entering new markets. And you can get on the right track by going to EzraGroupLLC.com. Now, a few quick housekeeping notes before we continue. We support a number of nonprofit organizations that do fantastic work for a variety of causes. And one you should check out is the Invest in Others Foundation, which you can learn more about at investinothers.org. Please subscribe to the show wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss an episode. And now, let's kick this thing off. All right, I'm excited to welcome to the program our next guest. It's Jim Crowley, CEO of BNY Mellon Pershing. Jim, welcome.
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me, Craig.
I'm so glad you're here, and we are crushed for time because of technical issues. So let's just jump right in. Jim, everyone knows Pershing. I'm not going to ask you for the 30-second elevator pitch. We're here because you have a new initiative. I was interested to talk to you about it. It's called Paper Free in 2023. Can you give us an overview of it and tell us why it's important?
So great. Thanks for the question, Craig. It's super to be here. We started with our Paper Free initiative in 1986, and here we are in 2023, really pushing on it hard. And we think it's so important as the industry has transformed itself to more of a digital practice that we really start to get the paper out of the process. And because there are so many important reasons for doing it, that we just feel compelled to get really assertive with it, and our clients are really happy and coming along with this as well.
I know Pershing, as the third largest custodian in the RIA space, you have more than 7 million investor accounts, $2 trillion in global assets. I'm surprised that there's even wealth management firms still using paper. How many are still using it, and why are they doing it this day and age?
Yeah, you'd be surprised. It's quite a wide range. You have some firms that really have adopted the digital process. Some firms are up to 70-75% of statements, confirmations, tax statements, and other notifications that go out digitally. And there are other firms that are at 20, 30, 40%. So there's a wide range depending upon the business model. And we're really impressing upon our clients and advisors and ultimately investors why it's so important, because of all the things that we all know are super important, whether it's reducing greenhouse gases or reducing the amount of trees that we cut down. We cut down 24,000 trees in 2022 to deliver paper statements, which is kind of remarkable. We use 22 million gallons of water to produce statements. We created 1 million pounds of waste product as a result of all the paper that we create. And it's just not necessary. The digital paper, the digital statements, confirmations, and tax statements get there in a matter of a business day or two, rather than whatever it might take through the postal service. It's more secure than a paper ending up in a mailbox. And as I said, the speed, the security, and the reliability of the digital delivery versus paper is just so important. And there really is no more reason for clients not adopting a digital form.
Besides speed, security, and reliability, a part of the reliability is reducing NIGOs, which nobody wants. And yeah, we've seen some firms with 30% NIGOs that are still manually opening accounts.
Yeah, and you mentioned the opening new accounts. That's where it all begins. Get the email address, get the telephone number, and it really just makes the process so much more seamless to adopt digital. In fact, we did an upgrade in our what we call NetX Investor, which is the end investor portal for our clients, which was a one-click pop-up notice that came. And we had like 15% adoption rate just as a result of us putting a pop-up in front of clients each time they logged in. So just doing little things like that to remind them, but it all begins with the process at the very beginning at the account opening stage, as you mentioned.
There's a lot of buzzwords in the industry, and one of them is digitization. And I don't like buzzwords, but it's really just it fits to what we're talking about. Is where we are really digitizing here, and Pershing's been a leader. We really appreciate that. Can you talk about some of the other initiatives you guys are working on around application integrations or digital experiences?
Yeah, well, look, we've been in the API business for a long time, and that sort of connects very much with what our clients are doing with technology and integrating technology. One of the new developments that we are working on in the area of digitization and eliminating paper is we are, through our Treasury Services group at BNY Mellon, we're rolling out real-time payments, and that will really reduce the number of first-party checks that get delivered. And again, it will speed the asset movement process between investor and the custodian. And it's something that we're excited about, and something, oddly enough, isn't mandated or prohibited by any kind of regulatory agency. We can mandate real-time payments, first-party check delivery as a result of this technology. And I believe that clients are going to find it super convenient. They are already doing it in all the other areas of their life, whether it's buying something through their phone, through a direct website, or through another third party. So it's about time the financial services industry caught up with other industries.
Speaking of real time, I know there was another recent innovation, or maybe it was already a couple of years ago, about bringing real-time cash positions from you guys out to different platforms, which has always been an issue. Our clients have had to go to NetX portal to check cash positions rather than pulling it directly. I know you guys recently enabled that. I think it's a huge boost for a lot of firms.
Yeah, look, investors and advisors today want real-time information. So we have created APIs that allow our clients to pull into their proprietary technology stacks real-time positions and balances, real-time cash positions, as you mentioned. And it's important, particularly important with volatility in the marketplace. People want to know what's happening in their portfolios at any moment in time. Not that they should be making an instantaneous investment decision as a result of that, but they want to know. And the information is there, it's available. The technology's here, and we're happy to deliver it to many of our clients.
Recent surveys have shown that up to 77% of advisors report that managing technology is their biggest challenge. So what are some of the other ways that Pershing is helping this?
Yeah, so it's a big problem, managing technology. And Craig, you're familiar with our launch of Pershing X, which October 14th, 2021 is when Ainsley Simmons joined us to start up Pershing X. And in June this year at our Insight Conference, we will be rolling out the product name for Pershing X as well as the platform more holistically. And when we talk about technology challenges, particularly for advisors, stitching together the different single function applications, whether it's CRM, whether it's planning, whether it's model management, trading, performance reporting, billing, it's a real difficult task. And that's where I think a lot of this challenge is coming from, that you just mentioned that advisors report on. That's a big problem, and we want to tackle that. And with Pershing X, that's one of the ways that we believe, by creating a highly interoperable set of applications, we're going to solve a lot of those problems. Maybe not every problem. We'll eventually get to them. We have an order of operation, which has been defined by the advisors that are part of our advisory steering committee, and we will get to them all eventually. But we're super excited about solving big problems. It's no different than paper delivery. This is a big problem for industry. We want to solve it. Technology, managing technology is a big problem. Data and managing data and having it span across the ecosystem, all the applications that people use, it's a big challenge. So we're after those big problems, Craig.
Can you talk about the big problem you might have had with working with other custodians? How do they feel about the Pershing X platforms? You'll be the first custodian that we know of that's offering a multi-custodial platform.
Yeah, so for a person like me who's been in the industry for decades, I was sort of the first problem, the first challenge that we had to sort
You're
of.
not a problem, Jim. Come on. You're a solution looking for problems.
I was the first person that had to be convinced that it was a great idea to build a platform that would be multi-custodial, because forever, right, that's the custodians made money only by positions, accounts, and balances that we held on behalf of our clients. But it really was short-sighted. And being multi-custodial is so important because we first need to solve the problem that advisors are dealing with, that 77% problem that you mentioned. And we believe that by being multi-custodial, that and solving those problems that we just talked about, it will position us differently in the minds and in the operating system of every advisor that uses our tech stack. So it's a bit of a leap of faith. It's trusting in what we are doing and in our strategy. We're highly confident in it, and time will tell, but we're on the journey. At the very heart of the matter, Craig, what we're trying to do for our clients is simplify the complex. If you think about the operating system today, you think about the product choices, you think about the regulation, all the different technology, different tools that are out there, which you are so familiar with. It's a really complex operating system. So if your custodian can help you solve for all the complexity of the operating system, so you have more time as an advisor to talk to your clients, we believe that that's the right formula. So simplifying the complexity of the operating system, helping people scale their business, improving their productivity, and giving them great service, that's our strategy.
That's an excellent strategy. I don't see how that can fail. Jim, thanks so much for being on the program. We really appreciate your time, man.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Craig again. Here are my top 3 takeaways from this interview. Number 1, there's a huge disparity in wealth management firms going paperless. As Jim's mentioned, some Pershing clients are at 75% digitization, but some are at only 25%. There's such a long way to go for Pershing to be able to stop cutting down those 24,000 trees and consuming 22 million gallons of water to print all these millions of paper statements in conference. Number 2, 77% of advisors report that managing technology is their biggest challenge. And Pershing is working on this. As Jim mentioned, they believe their Pershing X multi-custodial wealth management platform is the solution, since it's designed to eliminate many of the complexities that advisors face when integrating disparate technology solutions. 3, the Pershing X platform will not be free. News alert, this will not be free. As Jim said, free is not a good commercial model. Pershing X will be modular, however, and will allow specific products to be sold on a one-off basis to clients, as Jim mentioned, such as tax transition or direct indexing products. And that's a wrap. You made it to the end of another episode of the WealthTech Today podcast. Before you go, please go to our website, EzraGroupLLC.com, scroll to the bottom of the homepage, and sign up for our newsletter. Once a month, you'll receive an email chock full of wealth management goodness, news, alerts, updates. You will not be disappointed. Thanks again for listening, and talk to you all again next time.